should be up for sharing. What's up, everybody? Dead Girl here. Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to our live show, Season 3. This is our third season, Episode 1. We're kicking off this season with some good friends of ours, Ben and Tim from Embellish FX. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Nick Whitfield. He is the gentleman that composed our opening and closing credits. He's also the music that we use when we do our other YouTube videos. So lots of love to Nick. He's amazing. Fantastic work. I can't say enough good things about him, and one hell of a nice guy. But without further ado, let's say hi to our buddies Ben and Tim.
Hi.
Hello, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy 420 Eve, darling.
Yes, happy 420 Eve to you as well. It's kind of a holiday, right?
It's a very large holiday from where I'm from.
So how are you
and
guys?
where I'm from is my living room.
So how are you guys doing on this fine weekday?
We're excellent. It's halfway through the work week, and it's a good work week, so we cannot complain.
Fantastic.
It's always a good
And it's cool outside here in Florida.
For once. I'm soaking up all of the cool weather as much as I can.
You know, in 4 days, it's supposed to be like 82 again. It's ridiculous.
I know. That's why. It makes me very happy that we're getting cooler weather now, because I'm also like, yay, halfway to Halloween.
Yes.
But also, like, no, because now summer is going to come, and
Yes.
that's too much.
Yeah.
And you won't want to think about Halloween.
You always
Sweaty.
want to think about
I know.
it.
I know. So, Ben and Tim, tell us a little bit about yourselves, who you are. You guys have a lovely business called Embellish FX. Let the folks that are watching know a little bit about you guys.
Yeah, so I am Tim. This is Ben, aka Eureka Fish. He has an alter ego. That's another podcast, though.
Oh.
No, we're the owners of Embellish FX, located in Ocoee at 1530 East Silver Star Road. That's the location of our new, much larger store.
Superstore.
Yes, it's a superstore for sure. And we focus on cosplay, special effects, body paint, really any kind of makeup and costuming artistry, I suppose, for creative people. Creative being drag queens, cosplayers, body painters, face painters.
You said drag queens. I don't think we're supposed to use those words in Florida anymore.
I don't care. We're using them.
That's right.
So we're kind of a quirky store, and we've been around since 2013. We actually bought a business called Century Costumes, which was costume rentals. And I'll let Ben tell that story, but we've kind of converted the format of the store probably about 4 times over the last 10 years, adding in new things, getting rid of old things, seeing what works, seeing what resonates with, our clientele. And
well, if Cher didn't reinvent herself so many times, she wouldn't be Cher, right?
it's true, but
That's-
She does look better than us. Only when I don't have her big long wig on.
Listen, she looks better than everybody. I don't know how she does it. She's amazing.
She's a robot.
You're not wrong. Now, you mentioned Century Costumes. So how did that transition come about? Tell me the story.
Well, I was working at an insurance company for many, many years. I was in the insurance field for 25 years.
I'm sorry.
And yeah,
I'm in it
yeah.
now. I
Hey,
understand.
you know what? It was a great job. It paid the bills.
Yes.
I was not happy there 1 minute of my life, I don't think, but you know what? It paid the bills. And then after 4 or 5 rounds of layoffs,
Oh.
the layoffs hit me and my department. So we all got laid off.
Fun side story to that, though. We
And
actually,
fun.
he took this call while we were snowed in a blizzard in Kansas City,
Oh.
staying at an Indian reservation
Oh my
casino.
God, it was so fun.
And it was just like this most bizarre trip. We were actually in Kansas, where I'm from, for my mom's 50th birthday, and
Okay.
we had to leave the day before her birthday because we were supposed to get like 3.5 feet of snow. So
Oh, no,
it
thank
was
you.
crazy. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. So after a few rounds of layoffs, it got me. And I honestly had no idea what I was going to do. How old was I? This was 10 years ago. So I was 40. I was 40 years old and I didn't want to restart a whole new career in insurance.
Yeah.
And our friends Carl and Dean had owned Century Costumes and they were going out of business. And they called me and said, "Make me an offer. You need a job."
Oh.
And so we took some time and went over their books and made them an offer. They accepted, and that was 10 years ago. I still can't even believe that we've been in business for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I love every day
So,
at Embellish.
what made you say yes to the costuming aspect? Was it something that you were into beforehand, or were you just like, you know what, I'm gonna go to left field and see what happens?
I did some drag back in my day, so I was very well informed on makeup and costuming and things
Okay.
like that. So that was kind of like the seed. Since then, I choked on a matzo ball and died. At least my alter ego did.
Oh.
And um, yeah, I love every minute at Embellish because every day is different. Not like working in the insurance field where every day was the same crap, different
Yes.
day. At Embellish, every day is different. You could be helping somebody create something out of Warbler. You could be teaching a new baby drag queen how to put makeup on for the first time.
Or you could be helping Victoria Black with her makeup when she shops.
Speaking of
Sure.
Victoria Black,
Can we talk about how amazing Victoria is?
She is
she's
amazing, and she's
sickening.
so fun in all of her forms. You know, we get to see her kind of raw and candid when she comes into the store, and honestly, the persona that she has on the Boulet Brothers, you know, when they would show behind the scenes and how, you know, it was a
Genuine.
competition,
Yeah.
but you always got this sense from Victoria that she was really there to accomplish something for herself, not to defeat someone else. And that's kind of a rare characteristic in human beings, period, these days.
Yes.
So that persona is in fact her real persona. Like, that is genuinely who she is all the
Nice.
time. So it's just, I'm probably happier for her to win a major drag competition than I've ever been for any other drag queen literally in my life.
What about me?
Because of course, because she's just genuine and a lovely person and
But what about Ben?
awesome. I married him. I mean, come on.
That's
Yes,
fair.
you did.
That's fair. I will admit, the first time I saw Victoria was at Spooky Empire, a couple of years ago when they had their Tampa show. She did the Dr. Satan from House of a Thousand Corpses, and I fangirled so hard. I didn't know who she was at that point, and then I started to
Sure.
follow her and her journey, and she's amazing. Like, oh my God. And then when I actually got to meet her in person, I fangirled like so hard. I nearly froze up. I was just like, oh my God, I don't have words right now.
I still fangirl over her, you know, and I consider her a friend, and we still, I mean, gag worthy.
Now, okay, so we know where you guys started Embellish, and you guys, you started with the costume shop, so you had all these lovely costumes, and then you kind of started to transition more towards cosplay materials and heavily into makeup. What was the reasoning behind that transition?
That's actually a great question.
Look at the audience, not your glass of
Well, I'm sorry, a little bit of thought, making sure to express it right. So, costuming was always kind of a core thing for us. If you ever visited our old store on Edgewater Drive, the quantity of costumes when you walk in was just overwhelming in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Over the years, what we noticed is around 2014, 2015, costume sales in store actually started dropping off literally every year.
Oh, wow.
And then in the last week before Halloween, what you would find is a crush of people coming in saying, hey, my Amazon costume didn't come in, so I need something. And what ended up happening so many times was just we would be left with stranded inventory because people would buy their costumes on Amazon. They would still come to us for the professional makeup and things, but the costumes just weren't selling the way they used to.
Right.
And I really do attribute a lot of that to, Amazon, and even
Spirit Halloween too, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a really tough business. The other thing that makes it really hard is that all costumes in the United States are made by basically 3 companies.
Okay.
So everybody, including Amazon, Walmart, any Halloween costume store out there, Party City, they all buy from the same vendors. So by the time they place their large orders and get priority of what's been manufactured, stores like us, we're small buyers in that market. We end up getting kind of leftovers. So we would never, there were so many Halloweens where we just felt like our collection just isn't complete. Like we don't feel like we had the ability to have the range of costumes that we wanted that would really draw in enough people to justify that.
Yeah.
And so we made that decision that, we're never going to be able to compete with Amazon on things like that. So let's focus on the things where we can. Professional quality makeup, many of the brands we sell, you can't buy them on Amazon.
Right.
And if you can, they're gated, meaning they are tightly controlled who can sell there.
Oh, I
And
didn't
so
know
that was
that.
really kind of that was really kind of the genesis of, kind of jettisoning the costumes themselves and really focusing on costume construction and makeup material stuff. So
Yeah.
I agree.
See, that's the thing, that's like the internet is such a lovely place, right? Because you can find all of these amazing and wonderful things and they're all at your fingertips. But it almost ruins it for store owners like yourselves when it comes to something like costuming, because you can go on Amazon and get something for $3 that you would have to sell retail, 6 or 7 to make any type of profit. And like personally for me, if I'm buying costume pieces or if I'm looking to put a look together, I want to try it on. I don't like ordering online because half the time the sizing isn't right, doesn't fit my big butt. It doesn't work. So, and I feel like I'm a dying breed in that sense of actually enjoying going and physically shopping at stores and taking them and trying them.
You actually bring up a really interesting point. And I have such a love-hate relationship with places like Walmart, Amazon, not so much eBay, because, they really, and this may sound a little political, but they really have contributed to the hollowing out of mom and pop businesses across the country.
Absolutely.
And I don't believe that any of those people ever came out and intended for that consequence to occur. But if you look at who owns small stores like our store,
We do.
Ben and I are a unique combination of people. I come from corporate America. I ran a technology company. An accountant and finance person by trade. So I come at the small business with a lot of knowledge and expertise that
Yeah.
98% of small business owners in this country, they don't have that.
Right.
You know, Ben comes to the table with, you know this because you've met him, a personality that is very, very good for retail business. Like,
Yes.
you know, people walk in, they don't come to see me, they come to see Ben.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to stop you right there. We come to see both of you.
I agree.
But
But
to your point, Ben has a very great customer service appeal.
amazing. Amazing. You know, and that's why when you guys come into the new store, you see I'm usually sitting behind the curtain, you know, and
Pulling the strings. No.
But my point being that, you know, I I think that so many small businesses just don't have the luxury to have been in positions that Ben and I have been in our career. And so they suffer. When COVID hit, look, it hurt us terribly because we had to close our store.
10 weeks we
And
were closed.
yep, and that's what really we do sell the products that we can on Amazon, and on eBay and on our website. We have to take an everything approach for sales,
Right.
and that sustains us. Now, that doesn't mean we're not trying to fight back locally and with, you know, non-Amazon sales. We certainly are focused on that. But anyways, it's sad because a lot of small businesses haven't survived, and unfortunately, I think won't survive still because of that occurrence. Hopefully more small business owners can, you know, find some of the expertise that we have and put that to use. I'd love to see Main Street America come back.
Yeah. It would be, I mean, it would be nice. I would rather shop a small business than I would going to a corporate entity because I feel like it's very personable when you're doing that because you're not putting money into somebody's pocket that's already got millions and millions of dollars. You're putting in money into someone's pocket who maybe has hundreds or a couple of thousand, you know, so it's
I have like a buck.
I have $1.50 in my wallet right now.
All in change.
But you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather put
Yeah.
my money towards shops like yours as opposed to going on Amazon and finding somebody
Yeah.
that maybe sells something that's not even a fraction of the quality for what you guys have.
I agree. And you know what? It builds community.
Absolutely.
Well, it's nice to have a community, and we have such a unique clientele. The people that come in, you know, 85% of our customers, we sit and have at least 3 to 6 minutes of conversation, not related to the product that they're even inquiring about or coming in to purchase, but just catching up. Oh, hey, how have you been? You know?
Yeah.
And that's a lost art in our
In
country.
this generation
Communicating.
now, yes.
Communicating is a lost art.
Conversation is a thing of, it's like becoming a thing of the past because everybody is so stuck on their phones that's all they're used to. So the face-to-face is weird and for some folks uncomfortable, but for folks that are kind of old school like we are, you know, I like the in-person and I like the face-to-face and I like the genuine conversation.
Me too.
You know.
Me too.
So I gotta ask now, Ben, you've done some makeup previously. Can you remember when you first decided you were gonna make yourself fabulous?
Gee whiz. Yeah, it had to have something to do with tequila.
Doesn't most things?
I remember there was going to be a drag pageant called the Closet Ball. And me being the outgoing type of person that I am, I said, sure, why the fuck not? Let's try this out. Let's do this. So it was you had to come out and present yourself as your boy self.
Okay.
And then you had an hour and a half to get put into drag. And I got put into drag. I didn't do it myself. I was still a little learner, a little baby drag. But I did have myself put into drag, and I looked in the mirror and I saw my mother and I said, never again. No, it actually turned into me performing for 11 years, 10 years, something along those lines. I performed mainly comedy queen things. I went for the comedy queen pageant about 5 times. I was first runner-up twice, second runner-up twice.
Nice.
Yeah, really good times. And you know, I miss it, but I don't miss it. You know, I don't miss my feet hurting because I'm shoving my feet into high heels, and I don't miss my skin breaking out because, you know, I used too much makeup this week, you know, but you know, it brought so many good people into my life. You know, my drag mother, Sasha Blake, she's my heart. And I'm glad that drag brought her into my life.
So you went from like drag princess, that's what I'm calling baby drags, like drag princess to drag queen.
Yeah, I was a full-on queen, honey. Yes, I was.
I'm gonna have to do some digging and find some pictures. I need to see this.
I'll text you after the show.
Yes, send me some. I want to see.
I think does Eureka's Fish still have a Facebook page?
Eureka Fish has an Instagram page.
Oh, Instagram.
And maybe Facebook. I may not have defunct it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but I stopped performing many years back so that I could actually focus on Embellish. So I wasn't out at the bars till 3 a.m. And, you know, drag and come home, and then you want to relax and you're up for 2 more hours. And I needed to stop doing all that and you know, put this face on, put the business face on versus my queen face for a while. And I'm really glad I did. I think we've built something pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You absolutely have. Now, Tim, have you ever done some drag, or is that not for you?
For Halloween, when I was, I think 20 or 21. No, I've never really done drag, but I've been around drag literally my entire adult life.
Okay.
He introduced me to my drag mother.
Oh.
Yeah. So, you know, when I moved away from my hometown, I moved to Wichita, Kansas, which is about an hour south of my hometown.
I've been to Wichita.
Yeah, and I lived in Wichita for many years, but that was really where I came out. You know, I moved there when I was
came out. You're gay?
What?
Like,
wait.
wait.
Yeah.
Did he just come
Is
out?
it
Of
an intervention?
show? What is happening?
I have no idea what is happening here. Go on, dear.
But I came out living in Wichita, and fortunately I had a gay cousin that lived in Wichita, so he was like showing me the ropes. And he was a drag queen, and so, you know, my entire introduction to being gay was going and basically living with drag queens, going, you know, driving all over the plain states, going to drag pageants in Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma. Like, we went everywhere, and it was all drag. So I don't know that that probably is what caused the drag bug to never bite me. Although I will say that if I were to ever do drag, it would be country, and most likely something like Reba McEntire would be like the type of persona that I would have. So
I actually had a dream of him doing country drag, and the name that he had in the dream was Elizabeth Chitwood.
That's actually
It is a true story. I woke up screaming, saying, "Are you Elizabeth Chitwood? Superstar Elizabeth Chitwood?"
And he's probably like, "What are you talking about?" JD says that he's here for Tim is Reba. Yes. You know what? I think it would work. I think it would be like a little Southern Belle.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a very grand vision of this.
Now, obviously, you two have been together for moons. You live together. You run the business together. What's it like running a business with your better half?
You go first. That way I know whether to stab you or love you.
Just get me more wine while I'm talking. That's a great question. We both had kind of, I mean, when you go to work and you don't take your spouse, you have a life outside of your house.
Yes.
We had that, and I think now that we don't have that, we wake up together, we feed the dogs together, we eat breakfast together, we get in the same car together, we drive to work together, we spend the whole day together, we come home and we make dinner together. We have not been apart
Since
I can't even tell you.
I'm gonna say you can't remember at this point.
I honestly can't. But I wouldn't change it. We communicate so much better than we did before when we had separate work lives.
Right.
I think we talk to each other better. We understand each other. There was and I know he feels the same way, because I remember him saying at one point that it takes 5 years to get to Mars, and that I'm the only person in the world he would want to be with in the capsule for 5 years.
Aww. Look at you! Oh,
Isn't that the sweetest puppy thing ever?
That's disgustingly sweet. I'm as adorable. I love that. Oh my god.
Normally, I'm the mushy one.
At that point, it's like, if you weren't married, we need to get married now, because there's nothing. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, had you not been, it would have been like, you know what? No, after that line, that was the perfect line.
But yeah, I mean, I approve.
Yeah, it's an adjustment for sure. Now, I think we had a couple of things going for us. First, this really kind of working together. I left corporate America in 2020, like September of 2020.
I'm gonna get the bottle of wine.
Okay. So I left corporate America in about September of 2020.
Okay.
And that was when we decided that we were just going to go all in on Embellish. I wasn't going to go find a job or anything like that. It was like, we're going to do this. We're going to do it and make it work for us.
Make it work.
And, that was on the heels of being in quarantine for several months. Where that kind of forced us to be around each other 24/7.
Nobody had a choice.
No, nobody had a choice. But so it gave us a leg up, because by that time, like, we're 6 months into COVID, and we're like, okay, I can be with you for 24 hours a day, because we've been doing that for 6 months. It's okay. But I also think it's fun because, look, you have a persona at work. If you're a traditional household where you don't work with your spouse, you have a persona at work. There is a life there.
Yeah.
And your spouse has a life too. And so there's like 3 worlds kind of orbiting each other. And you don't always know the quirks of your partner. When you're spending all of your time together, you learn so much about eyebrow placement, like lip, eye space. Like, there's so many physical and almost
eyebrow placement. My eyebrows were right here.
Well, I think it's more of the like you can communicate with the single look and say have an entire conversation without actually forming words.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
yeah. I use
ridiculous.
sign language a lot.
I mean,
Just saying, you know.
Yeah, so it's tough, but we have so much that we're doing right now. Like honestly, even during the workday,
He's so busy he can't pay attention to me. So that's how good this was.
I spend my time in the office working on marketing and sales and financial things, and Ben takes care of the floor. And honestly, we probably spend an hour and a half of our day together, maybe.
About an hour and a half.
The rest of the time we're separate. Like we're busy,
and a half hour of that is lunch.
Great. Yeah.
So you're working together, but you each have your own separate things that you're working on. So you're not constantly, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's good because you still get that little bit of, you get to make the floor pretty and you get to make the internets and all the marketing pretty.
Yes. Yeah, it's so fun though.
I agree.
And again, it's a very different journey. You know, but I will also say this: owning a small business and having it be your sole source of income. It is hard. It is very difficult. But when you're doing it with your partner, it's an adventure too. So there's like this thrilling aspect of it. Like, oh my God, did you see what sales were yesterday? And it's like, yeah, you know, it's a whole nother type of existence, and I highly recommend it for those interested.
I love that you both
open
work
a makeup shop in Orlando. That's my advice to you, business people.
No. Well, that. Well, I was used to seeing your other store that was closer to downtown, and then you moved over to Ocoee, and it's so much larger, and there's so much more room, and it feels like you have so much more amazing product in this location, but you're also able to do more at this location, like classes. Classes are now a thing in Embellish FX for those of you that were not aware.
They are, and we were honored to have our good friend, Mr. J.D. Ellis from Postmortem Effects come in and do our first class.
Yay! Round of applause.
Huge success. Yes, thank you so much. It was a huge success, and it's something that I tasked myself with this year was to make sure that we started classes. And you know, you can only kick your ass kick yourself in the ass so many times before you actually have to do it. And I procrastinated and finally did it. And first one was a success for the blood. Next one is already set up for May 13th. Okay. We're having Christine Bryant come in and do a 2-hour body paint or face and body paint 101 class. Oh. Yep, it's going to be 2 hours that Saturday. We do still have a few openings for students. Okay. This would be perfect for anyone who is maybe a cosplayer who wants to perfect their look, or a mom who wants to do their kids' makeup for Halloween every year and doesn't want to hire an artist to come in. Right. So we can teach her or him, a dad who maybe wants to be painting, we can teach them how to do the basics, and then they can take over and learn from there. So we're very excited to have that class start next month as well. And then we're going to be doing some foam classes and some Warbler classes. And
are you going to be doing any airbrush classes?
Yes, we're going to be doing airbrush classes.
I know someone that may be interested in that.
I sure do too. And then I know we want to discuss with Mr. Ellis some prosthetic classes.
Ooh.
So yeah, we got a few things up our 75 sleeves over here.
Well,
Well, and
JD says real quickly, he said that it was his pleasure teaching the blood class, and it's a great place to teach. So I'm sure he would be more than happy to come and do some more.
yeah.
Perfect.
Well, the cool thing about it is that when we were on Edgewater, we just literally had no space to try a class.
Yeah.
And now the size of our space is so much better. We went from 2,100 square feet to 3,600 square feet, so not quite double. But there are no walls subdividing rooms, which is just huge for us.
Except the bathroom.
Well,
Right.
I mean,
That'd be
Right.
weird.
it would be weird, but it's nice and open, which is
Yes.
what I love
Yes.
so much about the new location. And that back
too.
area of the store is great for classes. And then you've got all your prosthetics out, all of your airbrush makeups out, and all of your your regular face paints and bloods and adhesives and all the things. What?
And our clientele has asked for this for years, so we're so excited to be able to do it. But one of the things that we were pretty insistent on is trying to keep our class sizes small too.
Yeah.
We don't want to have 20 people in a class. We really want to have something like 5 to 8 people in a class. And that way it's a personal experience.
Yes.
We want people to feel comfortable, learning and being able to ask. There's a lot of folks in the world that, they may be a little shy, a little introverted, and so a large classroom setting isn't comfortable for them.
Right.
So we just want to make sure that the environment is comfortable and safe where people can come and ask questions, and feel like they have an opportunity to learn something that they actually are passionate about. So it's exciting.
I love that. I love that you're keeping it smaller class sizes, because I feel like when you do the larger classes, now there's nothing wrong with large classes. I'm not knocking it by any means, so no one take offense to this. However, there's something to be said about a smaller class, because then it's definitely much more personal, and whoever's teaching can take the time and they can work with everyone one-on-one. Sure, they could teach the class as a whole, but they could take the time and stop and help Timmy or Benjamin or the Jeffreys or the Ericas of the world to show them those things and take that time. And I think it's great that you guys have opened up your space to do these classes, to give folks, that may want to brush up on their makeup skills, or maybe they want to do something for the first time. I think it's great that you're opening up and giving them that opportunity to do that.
Yeah, and the other thing that again, we're trying to work with, we want our instructors, if you will, to be people that we already know. I mean, we know so many ridiculously talented people in this city, whether it's JD or Christine or Brittany, Hanari. Like, we know so many people from such different, diverse backgrounds too. Like, we know a lot of drag queens that could teach ridiculous classes on wigs and drag makeup. But we know face painters who could just blow the socks off of you. And we know prosthetic artists, and we know cosplayers who actually build things out of Worbla and foam. And you look at their stuff and it's like, I don't even know how much to pay for this, because it's got to be like $10,000. So it's just fun being able to bring those communities together and really kind of be a hub for people to meet and learn things that they've never learned before. So
I love that.
It
makes my heart happy.
Mine too.
So what inspires you guys? What inspires you the most about the location and about the cosplay and the costuming and the makeup community?
The diversity that I see, that's always inspiring to me. I think if I could paint myself as a rainbow and just live as a human rainbow, I think I'd be most happy, just because I just love diversity. We see so many different people come into our shop, and that is what inspires me and keeps me going, because to know that we're helping people, whether they come in and they don't buy anything, they just ask us questions. We work with a lot of that where, hey, I just need to pick your brain for a minute. Can you take 5 minutes and just sit with me? And absolutely, because they're going to come back.
Yes.
They don't have to buy something right now. They'll come back because they're going to know, hey, that really freaking weird guy that I talked to at Embellish FX gave me this great advice. So that's what inspires me.
Yeah, I think that's right for me too, diversity. And mine's for a slightly different reason. I mentioned that I grew up in Kansas. And anybody who watches any news knows that Kansas is extreme conservative place in the country. And so for me, seeing our customers who tend to be outcasts of society. If you were to rewind the clock to 1975, 1985 even, 90% of our clientele would be considered an outcast.
Right.
Geeks,
and
losers.
even though,
but
yeah,
that's what I am. I'm a loser, and I embrace it.
Fast forward almost 40 years from that time, we've certainly, I don't think people are considered outcasts as much or to the same degree, but just seeing all of these communities out and free and
nice.
being able to, yeah, it really is. And I'm a boring accountant by trade. That's what I did for my life. And part of that's rooted in where I came from, right?
Right.
And so for me, it inspires me seeing other people being able to live their authentic life from, in a lot of ways, a very young age these days. That's inspiring. That makes me want to keep going forward, and making sure that we can leave a better world and more accepting places on this planet for, anyone who doesn't fit, the mold, I suppose.
Those are my favorite people.
I have mold.
I mean, molds are great. Don't get me wrong; they have their uses. But
like
I love like Jello molds. Jello molds are fabulous. But I love the out of the molds, the people that are not what you're supposed to be. Yep. Those have always kind of been my people. And Ben, you had mentioned, like, back in the day, those people were nerds or geeks or dorks or whatever. But now it's the cool thing to be. So it's funny to watch how it's almost done, that complete 180 to what things used to be. As people were like, oh God, I don't want to be a dork. And now they're like, loud and proud. Yes, I am.
Yeah, so it's your freak flag fly, baby.
Yes, it's such
That's what it's about. Be yourself, man. Just keep on going forward.
It's an amazing thing to see, and I'm so happy to have friends like you in my life who are not only amazing people but fantastic businessmen with this wonderful mindset that you have. And I think that that's very unique and, in a sense, almost rare nowadays with some folks,
Yeah, understood. And thank you for the compliment. That was sweet.
Of course. Listen, I'm not as sweet as you are. I don't have the smooth 5-year line, all right, but I'm going to work up to it. Now, to kind of shift topics just a little bit, Ben, you've become widely known here in Orlando as the ribbon maker.
And I have.
Can you tell us, now there are some folks who aren't quite familiar yet, but we're about to educate them and make them familiar. Can you tell folks how that came about, what that means to you, and what exactly you're doing?
Well, back when the Pulse shooting happened here in Orlando, I didn't know what to do. Tim was the board president of the GLBT Center here in Orlando, and I was the first lady. So I just started making these ribbons, these little ribbons. I don't know if you can see it.
Other side, other way.
Going the wrong way.
There you go, right there.
I don't know my left from my
Bam.
right. And I just started making these little ribbons. It's a simple rainbow ribbon with a swatch of black across it, representing the 49 lives that were lost at the Pulse nightclub. To date, I have made and sent out over 1.7 million of these little ribbons.
Wow.
They are in every state. They are in 65 countries. They are in all 7 continents, including Antarctica.
Oh, wow.
And when Sir Richard Branson went into space, to the edge of space, if you noticed on his spacesuit, he was wearing one of my ribbons.
I did not notice. That's fantastic.
It was quite amazing for that to even have happened. And it's something that I wanted to do to honor the 49, was to get them all over the world and make sure that nobody forgot who they were and what happened here in our backyard.
Yeah.
Since the Pulse shooting, there has been, I don't know how many thousand other mass shootings in the last few years.
Too many.
Too many, and it's ridiculous, and it's only getting worse. But I have sent ribbons to every area that has had a mass shooting so that they know they're not alone. Yeah. Since making that ribbon, I've also now started making a drag support ribbon,
yes,
a Ukraine ribbon that raises money that we send to World Central Kitchen so that he could feed the Ukrainians. And this one is very popular right now. This is a trans support ribbon made to support and bring awareness to really uneducated people that trans lives matter. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter who you are. You just have to be yourself. And we are very fortunate to have many trans friends. Mm-hmm. And it hurts me deeply that people don't think that they are people.
Yeah.
Especially in our legislature and things, and they are very vocal and extremely hurtful.
Yes.
So I just want to bring people together, I guess, is why I make ribbons. I have hundreds of rolls of different colored ribbons in my drag room here at the house, and it's what I do when I get stressed and things are not cool in the world. I sit on the couch and I'll just bust out 1,000 ribbons. And then I feel better because I'm doing something.
Yeah.
You know, my dad was a police officer for 20 years. And, you know, the best advice he ever gave me was, no matter what happens and you don't know what to do, just do something. Then that's what I do. I just do something. I make ribbons.
I love that. That's such a great piece of advice, I think.
You gotta help people. You gotta do something, no matter what.
Yeah. Whether it's to let them know that you're standing with them and supporting them, or even that you see them.
Absolutely.
For who they are and who they feel that they are, because I think that's the important thing that people forget is we're all somebody.
Yep.
I may not be your ideal somebody, and that sucks for you, but I am still somebody.
Absolutely.
So I think that that's important, and we have many ribbons from you, and I wear them on all of my different jackets quite happily and proudly.
And I appreciate that.
Whenever we do an event, people always ask, "Well, what's that for? What is your ribbon?" And I always tell them, well, it's, you know, for whether it's for remembering the Pulse victims, or it's in support of the drag community or the trans, or, you know, whatever it's for. I like to tell them and to kind of explain it. And then I also direct them to you. I'm like, here, go.
Thank you.
Go
Yeah,
get you some.
that's why they're there. They're there to be seen and to ask questions.
Yeah.
Because if you have a question, it means you don't have an answer.
Right.
And you need an answer.
So this is, the husband just came in because he likes to give me things. So this is one of my jackets that I have recently. So I have our drag ribbon on this one,
See that?
which I love. And then
And I saw you wearing it at the Boulé concert as well.
bet your ass. And then on my other jacket, I have our Pulse ribbon on this one.
Thank
I'm
you.
still trying to figure out where to put the other ones. I do whenever I work conventions or an event and I have my lanyard, I will always grab one and throw it on my lanyard so that it's always there and it's always with me, because I think that it's something that definitely needs to be shown and be shared. And I do have some extras, so if anybody sees me out and about, just ask. I'm happy to give the extras that I do have. And of course, now you have a website for the Ribbon Maker too, don't you?
I don't have a separate website,
Okay.
but they are all on our Embellish FX website. So if anyone is interested in a ribbon, they are all $1 a piece, except for the Pulse ribbons. Those will remain free because I want to make sure that I still honor their lives and that they will remain free. But you can just go to embellishfx.com and type ribbon in the search bar, or you can follow me on either social media or on, who's that, Twitter, that little bird.
The Twitters.
Twitter, yeah, it's on our Twitter page on Embellish FX and also the Ribbon Project.
Nice. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. I know it's not the easiest thing to talk about. It was things are tough right now, so it's hard to talk about some of those things. So I appreciate your willingness to come on and to talk about those things.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Sharing is caring, my dear.
Absolutely. And educating is a very, very wonderful thing. I find myself doing it more nowadays than I ever have before, and I'm happy to do so. And yeah, I think that's where a lot of the issues come from, is people are not educated and they go on assumption. And then once you educate them, it's fun to watch the light bulb go off, to watch the ding of, oh my God, that's not at all what I thought.
Thing. When you can change somebody's mind, it's such an amazing feeling.
It is.
When you can change someone's mind about someone.
It is. It's definitely a wonderful thing. So again, thank you, both of you. Thank you both so much for everything that you do, from the shop and all of your amazing products and things that I can just go and buy and spend my money on, and that my husband can spend his money on, as well as all of the, the awareness and the remembrance that you bring. I honestly can't say thank you enough for that. I think it's all amazing.
Thank you so much.
Now I do have a couple of more questions that I like to ask, and I'm gonna round this out with some fun ones. So this is something that I like to ask all of my guests.
Speed round? Is this a speed round?
Speed round? Not really. It's just 2 questions, but it's something that
That's
I ask.
Speed round for me. 2 questions. That's a speed round.
It's something that I like to ask all of my guests, because although a lot of the time when folks come on and they like to talk the business, which I think is great and I encourage us to do, I always like to have a little bit of fun and kind of a getting to know you, right? Because I feel like with these 2 questions, I can kind of get to know you a little bit better than having an entire conversation about a business with you, right? So the first question that I have to ask, and again, I ask this of everybody, is what is your favorite scary movie? And if you can't think of one, I will take a top 3, because I know picking one is hard.
You want to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
Number 1, Halloween. And that is number 1. But I have to tell you number 2, because number 2 is 30 Days of Night.
Oh, okay. So the Halloween, now, is that the John Carpenter Halloween or the Rob Zombie Halloween?
The John Carpenter, the original.
Okay.
We watch it at least 10 times a year.
It's so good.
It is so good, and it's so campy and ridiculous. And if you ever hear Ben and I in public, you will hear quotes from that movie an obscene amount.
Boring.
I love it. And 30 Days of Night is good. I actually just rewatched that recently, and I was kind of meh on it the first time I saw it. Like, it was okay. I didn't love it. I was like, okay, that was a thing that I watched. And then I gave it a couple more watches, and it started to grow on me more. And I started to enjoy it a lot more than I did initially. So for that, I am definitely a fan of that one as well.
They're a very different breed of vampire.
They are. And I think that was maybe what it was, is I was so used to like the Lost Boys breed or Fright Night, you know, Chris Sarandon's or Jerry Dandridge's breeds. Yeah. And not necessarily like all of the teeth.
And yours?
I absolutely love Trick or Treat. That's my favorite.
Now, I'm
I love that.
assuming you're talking the most recent one that came out that everyone loves with Sam.
Yeah.
And everyone. Yes.
I
love an anthology. It's so much fun because then you feel like you're watching 5 different movies into one. And
can you believe that Sookie Stackhouse in that?
Yes.
Anna
You know what?
Paquin?
Okay, listen. Anna Paquin is a great actress, but I know that mouth anywhere.
For sure.
You know what I'm talking about. I know it anywhere. I mean, it doesn't matter what she's wearing, what color her hair is. The minute I see her lips part, I'm like, Anna Paquin.
You know who it is.
That's hilarious.
But this for her, and if anybody hasn't seen Trick or Treat, I'm about to throw a spoiler out there, so your ears real quick. But the werewolf transformation in Trick or Treat, I was so giddy about that entire, because I was like, oh, they're probably vampires or something, and then they turn out to be werewolves, and I was like, yes, thank you, so good. But
and I really liked the vintage face masks on the school bus
for the kids.
Oh my god. So good.
It's that whole thing was heartbreaking with them because that's a very I could
totally feel that happening somewhere.
Oh yeah, with a bunch of like cookie cutter moms that are like, no, no. But it's a very powerful and emotional. Like, I didn't expect to feel as emotional as I did when the school bus went down.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry.
Okay.
I'm kind of heartless. Listen. All right. Let me just to round this out for you. We went and saw The Pope's Exorcist Sunday, which was fantastic.
Pope had an exorcist?
Yeah, The Pope's Exorcist.
Yes.
It's about, I can't pronounce his last name, Gabriel Anthem or something, and he did exorcisms from like the 70s to like 2016. Like, so it's loosely based on him, and there's a documentary on him on Tubi that's awesome. It's all like in Italian though, so be warned, but it's great. Fantastic movie. So of course there's a scene where it's supposed to be like, scary. I can't help it. Those scenes, I just laugh. And loudly. So we're watching this film and this horrific things happen, and my husband, I love with all of my heart, sitting next to me, both of us at the same time just laughed inappropriately loud at this scene. So when I say that I'm heartless, I laugh at moments that are not meant to be funny, but I find them hilarious, like murder, apparently, in film. So it's one of those things. But the school bus thing in Trick or Treat did get me. I wasn't crying, but I was like, wow, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, for lack of a better term, I know I don't normally drop the F-bomb, but that alone was like very disheartening. And there are some kids in my life who are amazing and who are on the spectrum, and they're amazing children. I love them, and I couldn't imagine them in that. Like, I would murder everybody if harm came to these kids, because they are just like, I love them so much. They're fantastic people. So that kind of like got me a little bit.
It hits home a little bit.
It does. Sure. It does. It really, really does. But it's such a good, like, more recent horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that
that's rare.
Yes, it really is. And it's also kind of wormed its way into...
What, you didn't like Halloween 85?
Listen, the first 3 Halloweens were great. After that, I was like, I'm out.
Okay, Season of the Witch is my second favorite.
Season of the Witch is great.
Season of the Witch, the masks in Season of the Witch, I love it, love it, love it.
They're and I loved Halloween 2 because it literally picks up from where Halloween 1 left off. And to me, that is a true sequel.
Yeah.
When you take the original and you pick up exactly where it left off without skipping a beat, that right there is like, it's perfect. But Season of the Witch was so good because it was just, and I think that's the problem that like a lot of people didn't like because it wasn't like Halloween 1 or 2.
Right.
Like it was that offbeat, and that's what John Carpenter originally intended, was more of an anthology series and not the direct sequels. And it makes me angry that fans, a lot of people give it a lot of hate for that. But then you've got people like us who absolutely love it for that reason.
Yeah.
So I
was terrified of that that particular Halloween movie as a kid, only because of the damn silver shamrock masks. Like I just knew the mask I was going to get from Kmart that year was going to be a silver shamrock, and like my face was going to get eaten off and bugs were going to come out of my eyes. It's terrifying.
I loved. Oh, we have a visitor. I love puppy time.
He was booping my leg.
Oh, he's like...
That usually means he has to go pee, so I'm going to pick him up.
Aw, he's so cute. This is your newest baby.
This is our new rescue. Yes, this is Leo. He's a 1.5 old, and he's Chihuahua and Min Pin and Poodle.
Poodle? Really?
Yeah, I don't know where she came from.
Where did Poodle come from?
Don't know.
Don't know.
I mean, I don't even see Poodle in that little one at all.
Mm-mm.
I just see it.
But when we discovered that there was Min Pin, I mean, it explained several of his kind of features that we've noticed.
Okay.
So that helps. But like his lineage is supposedly 72% Chihuahua, but I don't think he has as many Chihuahua features as most others do.
No.
So he's an interesting little guy. He's cool.
He's a cutie pie. I love him. All right, so my last question that I have is something that is very revealing. Shocking. So this, and it's weird to say this, but this, I could tell a lot from most people by this question. And I usually get, it's like a 50-50. I kind of get the same answer from a lot of people. But I'm going to ask it. So what is your favorite Halloween candy? And I have a sub question after this.
Reese's peanut butter pumpkins.
Oh, so specifically the pumpkins. Okay.
You get more peanut butter in it.
They're way more peanut buttery, and I love peanut butter.
I'm not as specific. I like anything that comes in a wrapper. If I had to choose, I would say those cute little packs of Skittles, maybe.
Oh, those
Probably
are good. Yeah. Now, I will say that so far, the majority ruling on favorite Halloween candy has been Reese's. I have had a lot of folks that are, and I'm a fan of Reese's too. Don't get me wrong, I do love a Reese's, but this question, you're on one end of the spectrum or the other, and I have to ask this because this is just, what are your feelings about candy corn? Are you fans? Or are you anti? There is a wrong answer to this, by the way.
Well, you'll have, this is a house divided.
It is.
Oh.
This is a house divided. I happen to enjoy a piece of candy corn every now and then. Not a whole fucking bag, because God, no. I know. But I don't mind, sticking them on my teeth.
Making fangs.
And then eating them.
Yes.
But he's not much of a sweets person. He doesn't eat a lot of sugary things.
Yeah, I like
But he does
chocolates and stuff.
he
but
does think that candy corn is heinous.
It's all it. So when I was a kid,
Full of sugar.
they used to make wax teeth. Do you remember wax
Oh, I
teeth
used to
from
have the wax teeth, the little wax
fang.
vampire teeth that you would put
Yeah.
in. Oh, I remember
And the lips.
those. Yes, the lips.
Yeah,
Big lip.
yeah. Candy corn is just the waxed like fang broken off. Like it's the stuff they sweep up off the production
Oh
floor.
my God, shut up. So okay, the reason I ask this is because my house is very much a house divided on this subject. Shut up. My husband is in there going, uh-huh. So Jeffrey hates candy corn.
Who the
Like
hell's Jeff?
JG. Jeffrey. I'm using his real name now because now it's serious. He's not JD at this point. He's Jeffrey now.
Is that what you call him when you're mad at him?
Jeffrey! He hates candy corn. He's forever hashtagging ban candy corn, which, I mean, he may sleep on the couch tonight. Who knows? But he hates it with a passion. I will start there. I love candy corn. I will eat the bags of it. I grew up loving it. I always love it. I love the candy corn pumpkins. I love the regular candy corns.
Oh, the pumpkins are good.
See? It's for me.
Yeah. What about the brown candy corn, the chocolate flavor? Do you like that?
Those are good too.
I
But
like them.
those are good too. And I like the fall bag that you get because they have like a
harvest.
yes, the harvest ones are good. See? Thank you for being pro candy corn with me.
Yes.
I appreciate
How does that
that.
monkey meme go?
I will say, as much as JD hates candy corn in his life, the man will buy me a bag of candy corn every year because he knows I love it. He is definitely a keeper, but
has he bought you a bag of the black raspberry candy corn?
he has not.
Oh, JD, you better get on that.
You heard it here. You're watching right now. He's in the chat talking smack about candy corn.
They are good.
Talking about who wants to chew on a wax candle. You need to stop it.
I'm with you, JD.
No, you're both wrong. You know this though, right? Like that was the wrong
Solidarity for
answer.
candy corn.
Yes,
Yeah.
Team
Come
Candy
on.
Corn.
That's right.
I'm so
And those
glad.
Those pumpkins are so good.
The pumpkins are delicious. They're my kryptonite. Like I could just sit and happily eat bags of candy corn and be good. But I think with that being said, I want to thank you both for coming on this evening and for chatting with me and for sharing some of you with us. And for those of you who are in Orlando, stop by Embellish FX. Now you guys are located in Ocoee.
Yep.
Lovely
We are at
shop.
1530 East Silver Star Road in Ocoee, or shop anytime embellishfx.com.
Now, what are your hours? Are you guys Monday through Friday? Are you guys on the weekends?
We are Tuesday through Saturday because we need some frickin' time off. So we're closed on Sundays and Mondays.
Yes.
As we get closer to Halloween, we will probably be back open on Mondays again.
Okay.
But we will always be closed on Sunday because the whole team needs a day off. The whole staff needs to just be off.
Yes. Everyone needs a
karma.
break.
Very good karma.
And we appreciate that you're open on the weekends because some shops in Orlando that have things that we need are not open on certain days of the weekends, which sucks for us because the husband and I both work the 9-to-5 job. So thank you for being open on a Saturday.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So thank you guys for joining us. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to come right back to you guys in a few, but thank you so much. And remember, folks, that's embellishfx.com. Check them out. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the social medias and all the good things. All right. So just really quickly, for those of you that don't know, we are doing a small gathering this Friday at Universal Studios City Walk, specifically the movie theater, Cinemark. We're going to be seeing Evil Dead Rise, which I'm very, very excited about. We are doing the 7:45 p.m. showing, so if you'd like to join us, you are more than welcome to. Just go online, purchase some tickets, show up, watch some blood, guts, and gore with us. It's going to be amazing. Alyssa Sutherland is starring in the film. She's actually going to be at Spooky Empire May 19th to 21st. So I'm very excited to see that before we get to meet her. And last but not least, next week we will have on our show Paul Lanner. He is with Haunters Against Hate. They do all kinds of wonderful things for the community. Check them out. He'll be on our show. We'll chat with him. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, for watching the show. Again, big thank you to Ben and Tim for joining us. And until next time, guys, keep it spooky. Bye.